I built an outdoor kitchen for one of my best friends, but this video tells a much larger story. Let's start from the beginning. A few years back, I was looking for an outdoor kitchen solution for my balcony. After looking around, I got the absurd idea to do it myself. I say absurd because up until that point, I had never built anything at that scale before. There was no reason I should have believed I could pull it off. Bam! 3 weeks and a few angry neighbours later, I had myself a brand new outdoor kitchen I had built myself. The body was made of 2x4 pines, the cover and kitchen doors were made of epay wood, and the countertop was made of concrete. It was hard, complicated, nerve-wracking, and by far the most satisfying thing I had ever built with my own two hands. And a few power tools, of course. These are the tools that I'm going to need. You can see how empty the tool wall is. I immediately had everyone I knew of barbecues. At one point, I had 4 separate barbecues in the same week. The immediate feedback, amazing, amazing, amazing. Now, some part of me did realize that this was my friends and family coming over for some free food, seeing me obviously overly proud of this kitchen, and them saying, wow, 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 may have been due to those factors, the free food and me beaming with pride, and not what I was secretly concluding, which we will get to in a bit. This kitchen gave me the first chance to tow a trailer, which was an adventure in itself. The actual truth is that most people will just go out and buy a ready-made product, even if it costs them more money. The last thing they would do is go out and buy some raw materials and a saw, start cutting everything down to an outdoor kitchen. None of that sobering nonsense got through at the time, and I found myself sitting down for the next 6 months designing software that would automatically design and plan an outdoor kitchen. Let's talk about this a sec. While everyone was raving about how hard and cool it is to be able to build your own kitchen and how they would never know where to start, I was thinking IKEA. People love building their own furniture as long as it's cheap and easy, like IKEA. So, we're here at the carpenter's shop to pick up the kitchen. Let's have a look what we've got here. So we have 3 compartments. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I need to now wrap these up so they don't get damaged on the way and put them on the wagon. Oh, they don't look too good yet. They're going to be painted when we get to the actual place. And my beloved carpenter doesn't want to be videoed. I'll just show his back. There he is. He offered to add these handles for free. I don't like them that much. I think that the customer will also not like them that much, but we'll let him decide when we get there. So if I could create a kit for people to construct themselves, this could both bridge a few gaps and give them that sense of satisfaction you get when you do it yourself. The gaps being cutting the wood, drilling the holes, casting the concrete, breaking their back basically. This is the website, and although it's in Hebrew, you will still understand because it's meant to be very intuitive on how to design the kitchen. Okay, so the first step is to choose what shape you want the kitchen to be. So I'm going to choose an L shape. This step, the software wants you to mark which sides of the kitchen meet a wall, and this is to know what sides of the kitchen need to be covered with wood and which are remain bare. Next, it's asking me if I want a bar on any of the sides of the kitchen. A bar is just an extension of the countertop. It will also make this part of the kitchen, this module of the kitchen, a bit narrower, but it's mainly an input to the how to design the countertop. And you'll see in the kitchen I built here what it looks like at the end. It will also ask you what the lengths and very basic what the dimensions are the kitchen, and it asks for two lengths here, the front length and the side length. And at this stage it will ask you what accessories you want. In the case of the kitchen that I built this time, already had a barbecue. So the customer had a barbecue, and we built the kitchen to embed the existing barbecue. So in this case, all we need to do is insert the dimensions of the existing barbecue. I'm going to do that now. The same with the fridge. So you can choose an off-the-shelf fridge that we have as part of the website, but you can also insert the dimensions of an existing fridge, and we will take that into consideration as well. Well, we're going to skip having a sink. Now I need to position the accessories that I've chosen on the actual kitchen. So you just mark it wherever you want it to be. That's the fridge, and this is the barbecue. And that's it as far as the website side goes. Once the user completes the design process and presses continue, a backstage code is run. And what this code does is opens the Blender environment and designs in 3D the entire kitchen. So I'm going to show you what it looks like inside Blender. Imagine the code runs behind the scenes. It takes the best part of 30-40 seconds, and the user receives back rendered images from Blender of their kitchen. So this is Blender, and as you can see here, you can see a 3-dimension representation of the kitchen I just designed. And these are the images that the user will receive when they press continue. Okay, so it gives you a good representation of what it looks like, and it's pretty realistic. This is more or less what the kitchen is going to look like at the end. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, we have the entire kitchen on the cart. We also have my excess birch sheets. I ordered 5 extra, so I need to give them back to the hardware shop. We've tied everything to the best we can. Now this is super important. Okay, these harnesses are basically saving someone's life, because if on the highway I lose this kitchen, first of all, it could be super dangerous for the driver behind me, but it could also be very dangerous for me and my well-being. I'm not receiving a goddamn heart attack while I'm on the highway. We did the best we can. Looks like it's very secure. The first stop will be to return the sheets to the hardware store, and then thankfully I'll be able to close the back door. I did build 6 kitchens, but not the way I originally intended to. What I did was run the software, ordered the material to a carpenter of my choosing. I would then go to the carpenter with the kitchen plan. The carpenter would build the kitchen in his own workshop in such a way that I could just haul it away and assemble it in the customer's house. At the same time, the layout of the concrete was sent to a concrete guy of my choosing, who would cast the concrete countertop and install it after the kitchen was installed. Sounds like a good plan, right? A few things went wrong. My concrete guy quit after 3 kitchens, and I ended up casting 2 kitchen countertops in the backyard of my in-laws. That was a treat. The carpenters were extremely hard to work with, being picky on how to build the kitchen, what materials to use, and of course, schedules are a joke to a carpenter. One promised the kitchen in a couple of weeks, took him a couple of months. The 4th carpenter was great. He actually finished 2 kitchens in less than 1 week, and even charged half the price of the 2-month guy. This example just shows you how crazy Israeli carpenters are. So it's been 3.5 years since I built my last kitchen, and my main man Shimon has been badgering me for quite a while to build him a kitchen of his own. I finally caved in and decided to give it one more go, with one exception: no concrete. The concrete was by far the hardest part of the whole project. Shimon agreed. So I'm gonna reverse now with the cart. Never really done this before, and it's a pretty tight, it's very tight. I'm excited and scared at the same time. When returning the excess plywood sheets to the hardware store, I drove right in to a 20-meter narrow alley, well aware that I don't have the ability or credentials to reverse out with the trailer. I intentionally did this to challenge myself to something I have never done before. Not the best decision, to say the least. I'll just keep going forward and backwards, and then in the end, it pretty much got worse from there on. with me losing my cool and nerve, but not giving up until someone had to guide me to perform a pathetic 3-point turn. Okay, I failed. Completely failed. I'm just going to let him pass. Okay, so now I'm just going to try and turn around inside. I really have to master this. I really want to master this. Yes, you do. You really do. But it's going to have to wait for another day. Someone's helping me. I'm so ashamed. After being guided by someone who basically felt sorry for me by explaining how to do a 3-point turn with a trailer, I was free to go without my pride. That was an absolute nightmare, but I was saved. How long did it take? Damn. See you on the installation. There are two types of people that wear these belts. Oh, shit. As I was saying, two types of people that wear these belts. Come on. The kind that's justified that they wear them, and the kind that just want to feel cool. You can be the judge of what type I am. Surprisingly, Shimon loved the free handles I got from the carpenter. The only condition was to colour them in black. Actually, a good decision. At one stage, Shimon came out to help. I didn't want or need the help, but I had to let him do something. So he held my wood while I cut it. Thanks, Shimon. That was one of the hardest things I've done, definitely on this kitchen. Oh my god. What we've got here. Wow. Okay, so we've got a hole. It went through both of the modules. Let's have a look here. What it looks like. Oh yeah, it kind of like gave birth to the other side. But we've done it. So now I can add the gas cable, and not only the gas cable but the power cable as well. Yeah, nearly finished here. We've nearly finished. What we need to be connecting now is the bottom part of the kitchen. It's called in British it's called a plinth. In regular languages like America, other places it's called a kickboard. And up until now, when I've built these kitchens, I've used this heavy IKEA wood as like this as the kickboard, and it's not as good looking as the plastic one, and it's definitely harder to install. It's definitely more expensive. So this time, for the first time, I'm going to be trying to use the indoor kickboard, which is made of plastic, so it should survive outside. And like I said, it looks fantastic. The way we connect it is pretty easy. You cut it down to size. You've got these corners every time you need them. I mean, they just slide into place. And finally, you have these rings that will attach to the kitchen legs. And on the other side, you have this little square that goes into the kickboard rail you have here. And it just makes it super easy. You just put it in, turn it around, and you're good to go. No screws, no anything. Very easy. So you position it in front of the leg. There's the leg. And you just take these rings and you put them inside the rail and turn them round. And then it's still a bit loose. You can move around, but it won't come out of the actual rail. And you do it for however many legs you're going to need. Then you just plop it up and it connects. As easy as that. Okay, that took about 4 minutes, 6.5, to connect the kickboards or the pliths. What's it called? Okay, so the kitchen is ready. At least my part. We still need to add the countertop, and there's a couple of finishes that I need to come back for, but it's not the end of the world. It took me all in all 2.5 hours twice, so it's 5 hours that I worked on the actual kitchen installing it, and I've got another 10-15 minutes. It's already painted, it's all balanced out, it looks fantastic, and it's before the countertop, it's before the fridge, so there's still treats to come. You ready? There we go, here's the kitchen. Okay, so it's an L-shaped kitchen. The countertop will start from the wall, it will go behind the barbecue, it will go over the fridge, and here we will have a bar that goes out about 30 centimeters, so people will be able to sit here while the host runs the barbecue and keeps pulling out fresh beers from the fridge that will be here. And that's it. The doors open and close with these beautiful black handles. That's the gas wire that goes to the wall from here. Okay, so we've got water pipe that comes out. There's access to it all. And here we have access to where the actual gas goes into the wall. All in all, a job well done. So I'm still light years away from the IKEA dream, but I did land somewhere in between a kitchen to a carpenter design and installation process that most people use here in Israel. Theoretically, I don't cut any wood and I only screw the compartments to each other. Another advantage is that the planning process only takes me a few minutes. So I was able to drastically cut the costs of the entire process of someone buying an outdoor kitchen, making the process easier for the customer who doesn't have to deal with any crazy carpenters, but also to the crazy carpenters themselves that just, instead of coming to a customer's house and trying to understand how much wood they're going to need or whatever, and they receive as a shipment all the wood they need. When you order something that's custom made, there's a lot of hassle to get it right. This costs money and hassle to the entity that is meeting these requirements. So a successful system is meant to take the uniqueness out of a product, and that's what IKEA does. In my system, I was able to keep it unique, meaning it didn't really matter if the kitchen should be 3 meters or 3 meters and 3 centimeters. It didn't matter to me as the designer, and it didn't matter to the carpenter that was cutting down and building the actual kitchens. So I was on something here. So where do I plan to go from here? The truth is, this idea hasn't really taken off because I have been busy and still am busy with other things. With that said, if you are based in Israel and you really want a kitchen that resembles the kitchen I built Shimon, please reach out either in the comments below or send me an email and I'll see what I can do to set you up. The main reason for me making this video is to show you the potential of one of my more complicated ideas. I would love this to inspire you to try out one of your own systems that you thought about. Either way, I can say that the experience of coding the software, building the website, and now seeing through 7 separate installations is worth a lot. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you on the next one.